Some major stories are actually coming out today. And we know that, hey, January transfer window, there will be a lot of news, right? There will be a lot of transfer news. There will be a lot of Manchester United transfer news, Manchester United transfer stories. That's what you genuinely expect with the January transfer window, right? And especially that Man United, we haven't been in great form. We've lost what, five in a row, four in a row. So it hasn't been the best situation for Manchester United, but we know that, hey, the stories are always gonna come in January, right? A lot of transfer news is gonna come out in January. A lot of drama, a lot of transfer stuff. January transfer window. It's always massive. There are always rumors around this time, and Man United, Man United, Man United. We're seeing a situation where something massive has just happened, right? Marcus Rashford has actually responded to some of these transfer rumors, to some of these transfer stories. And this is what he actually came out to say, right? Marcus Rashford, he came out on his Instagram. This is Marcus Rashford's Instagram. The Sun, right? The Sun is a major outlet and major mainstream outlet, major news source, major website, and they were spreading rumors that, hey, Marcus Rashford he's stepping up the bid to quit Man United. But Marcus out there went to his Instagram and he responded. He genuinely responded to these fake rumors, right? He's come out on his Instagram and saying there's been a lot of false stories. So he's saying these stories are false, written over the past few weeks. So he's saying now it's becoming ridiculous. Never met with any agency and have no plan to. So Marcus Rashford, he's insinuating that, hey, I have no plan to leave. Hey, these are fake rumors. Hey, the media are lying about me. The media are lying about, hey, I'm trying to force my way out of Man United. So Marcus Rashford has come out to say his piece. He's come out to say what he genuinely believes, what he genuinely thinks. And a lot of the media outlets, they're gonna bash this man. A lot of the media outlets, they're gonna spread fake news, fake stories and reports. January transfer window, we should expect more transfer rumors, more transfer stories. It's gonna genuinely happen. But for Marcus Rashford, he's had enough. You can see that, hey, he's upset that the media are genuinely spreading fake stories. They're genuinely spreading fake news. And right now with Rashford, the the thing you gotta do is clarify to the fans, at least clarify whether you're gonna leave or not, right? Because a lot of people have questions. Okay, does Rashford want to leave? Does he not want to leave? This statement alone doesn't really clarify anything. We still believe that, hey, Rashford won't be a Man United player next season, right? If he doesn't leave this season, he might leave in. If he doesn't leave in January, he might leave in the summer. So this statement from Marcus Rashford, it doesn't really clarify whether you're going, whether you're not. But we know that, hey, you and the manager, you've already fallen apart, right? The relationship is damaged. And with Marcus Rashford, we know situations like this, players will do this, right? They'll come out with a statement. No, I'm committed, this and that. I have no plans to meet any agency, this and that, this and that. But overall, Marcus Rashford, we know that, hey, behind the scenes, you're trying to do something. You're trying to leave. So just clarify to the fans, to the people, whether you're gonna be here next season or not. This is a major story. The Marcus Rashford, of course, some outlets are saying, "Hey, Spain, that's the main thing he wants." But we can't trust all these outlets. We can't trust all these sources. Marcus Rashford has come out to say these guys are lying on me, right? I haven't met with any agency. Are we gonna trust what Rashford says? we have to take him for his word, right? We have to take him for his word. Yes, he might be lying. Yes, he might not be lying. But at the end of January, we'll see the real story, right? We'll see where Marcus Rashford ends up, because this story, it's moving faster than we expected. It's moving faster than a lot of people expected, because we're just waiting for one of the big journalists to talk about this. We haven't really heard Fabrizio talk about this. We haven't really heard David Ornstein talk about Rashford. So the major journalists, they haven't really spoken about, hey, where Rashford is gonna go. We've just been hearing sources from people that are not really reliable, right? Oh, Rashford to Barcelona, Rashford to this club, Rashford to that club. But we haven't heard it from the big journalists, Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein. Those two, they're the big guys, right? When those two speak, then we know that, hey, this Marcus Rashford situation is developing. This Marcus Rashford transfer news is developing, because as fans, we just want clarification. Will this guy be at Man United next season? That's all we want. And overall, January, we know stories like this they're gonna heat up. They're gonna actually basically take over our whole Manchester United news, right? And the major story again is about Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So Sir Jim, he's actually told Ruben Amorim, apparently he's told Ruben Amorim that there won't be money, there won't be cash in the January transfer window. You gotta sell to buy. You gotta sell to get in some players, and that's the main situation right now. That's the main situation we're in right now. You gotta sell to buy, and it's a tricky situation, because as United fans, we obviously want to get in some new players, get in some new talent, get in some players that are actually gonna contribute to the team, take us to the next level, and to get us back challenging, right? Next season we want to challenge. Of course, 2024 was horrible. We're now into 2025, January transfer window, and then Sir Jim Ratcliffe, he tells the manager that, hey, we gotta sell to buy, and some of the players you gotta sell is probably players like Casemiro, players like Anthony. There are some reports that Real Betis, they want Anthony on loan. Real Betis, yeah, he will leave in Jan. Let's hope so, but we still have to wait and see, bro. Let's hope you're doing well in 2025, but we still have to wait and see. Marcus Rashford, he will leave in Jan, but we still have to wait and see. And the statement Sir Jim Ratcliffe has actually given to the manager is heartbreaking, because we have to genuinely sell to buy. Are we gonna believe that? Maybe that's a marketing tool, right? You act like you're broke in January so that clubs don't so that clubs don't overcharge you for players, right? Obviously, yeah, Marcus Rashford will have to leave. It's gonna happen. It's gonna genuinely happen. He has to leave, because the relationship with the manager has fallen apart. That relationship is completely destroyed. Him and the manager, they're not seeing eye to eye. Him and the manager, they're not seeing each other as the best candidates for this job. So they just need to separate from each other, right? Ruben Amorim and Marcus Rashford. That situation, it's always gonna be dramatic. It's always gonna. We saw what happened between Jadon Sancho and Eric Ten Hag, right? That situation was so toxic. And yes, this situation between Rashford and the manager, it's not as toxic, but he's not even in the squad. You're right, bro. He's not even in the squad. So the best scenario for Rashford is to leave. Sometimes you're not in the squads, you're not even playing this and that. So obviously, yes, he's gonna come out with a statement like this. Statements like this are gonna happen, but hey, January, we need to, yeah, the transfers need to come in, right? The transfers need to come in, because What Sir Jim Ratcliffe is saying, we have no money, this and that. It's all about the money, right? Sir Jim, he's gonna genuinely use this as a tactic, right? He comes out publicly say, no, Man United don't have money, so that you can get cheaper players, so that you can get cheaper signings. There's no way that Man United, we've actually generated the most money in 2024. We're top 5 teams in revenue in 2024. So the situation that, hey, Man United, they don't have enough money in January, I don't believe that situation, because also we have to remember that, hey, we fired a lot of people in the club. That's more money. That's more money you're not spending, right? We fired a lot of people. We've gotten new investors and things like that. Snapdragon, they invested a lot of money into the club. So maybe the Glazers are in it, bro. Maybe the Glazers are in it. But what Sir Jim Ratcliffe is saying, I don't truly believe it. I don't truly believe it. We have to wait and see. By the end of January, let's hope we have 1 or 2 signings. We sell 1 or 2 players, and players like Casemiro. That's a major topic right now, because Casemiro to Saudi, that's heating up right now. That's heating up. We've heard someone like Fabrizio insinuate that it might happen, insinuating that, hey, you have to keep an eye on this, right? Fabrizio Romano, we know how reliable that man is. We know how reliable that man. So when he says, hey, keep an eye on Casemiro to Saudi in January, and we have to also remember Fabrizio Romano has connections in Saudi, right? He was in that award ceremony with Cristiano Ronaldo. So Fabrizio, when it comes to transfer news, he's one of the best. So when he says, "Hey, keep an eye on Casemiro to Saudi in January," there's some truth in it, right? That's when you can actually start talking about it. So Casemiro, let's just give a scenario. Casemiro goes, Christian Eriksen goes. Obviously, the club have to buy some players, right? You can't just lose Casemiro, Eriksen, Anthony without bringing in players. And this is January. So if all these players are going to be going, you got to actually bring in some players. I'm also surprised sell to buy. It doesn't really make sense, bro. It doesn't really make sense. We There's a spin on this, right? So Jim Ratcliffe, he's a businessman. So he obviously has business plans of how to get deals over the line, right? It's as psychological for Sir Jim. He tells other people, hey, we don't have money to spend, even though Snapdragon have invested so much money. Um, the the sponsors on the shirt, Snapdragon. We saw how much they've invested this season. They've invested so much money. A lot of people have been fired. So you have so much money to spend, and our expenses have reduced because you've fired a lot of people, right? You fired a lot of coaches. You've actually gotten rid of a lot of players on high wages. Jadon Sancho, he had a high wage. Yes, we're still covering some of his wages, but Chelsea are covering it. I think we do have something like 30 million, right? We can genuinely spend on a midfielder, on a left back. I think that's genuinely possible in the January transfer window. It's just started, but overall, this is gonna be a spin from Sir Jim Ratcliffe. You tell other people, hey, we're broke, don't overcharge us. Hey, we're broke. Don't over don't ask for too much money when we're trying to buy a player. And with Man United, we can already see, hey, the left back from PSG, he's already trying to force a move. He's already saying, hey, I wanna 75 million per year. That's from Snapdragon. And they invested a lot this year, right? A lot this year, 75 million per year. Our expenses have gone down. So the situation of us not having money, it's completely false. It's completely rumors. Those are just rumors. I think some of This is just psychological from Sir Jim. This is just psychological from Sir Jim, but also a lot of credible journalists are talking about Joshua Zirkzee, right? We saw what happened with him in our previous game. He went off upset, went down to the tunnel, subbed in the 33rd minute, and now like there are a lot of rumors that him to Juventus, he might take that move. Him to Juventus, he might take that loan move. And genuinely speaking, I can see that happening because right now it looks like he felt extremely embarrassed with what Ruben Amorim did. Right, the manager he embarrassed Zirkzee. Right, subbing the guy off in the 30th minute. That's embarrassing. And if a club like Juventus come for you for a loan move, Joshua Zirkzee is gonna take, and he might take that move. He might take that transfer because right now it was it was disgusting. I completely agree with that statement because as the manager, I know it was a tactical reason. I know it was supposed to change the game. But you taking off Zirkzee in the 30th minute, no matter which player it is, they're gonna be upset. Even if that was Harry Maguire, I wouldn't want that to happen. Even if it was our worst player, it's really harsh. It's better not to just start the player. Next time, don't start the player if you're gonna sub them off early, right? If you're gonna sub him off early, he might be done. He might be done at United, right? He is a young player, Joshua Zirkzee, but he might be done because that moment, how many players are gonna actually recover from that moment? He might start hating the manager. After that, you might start hating the manager, hating him. Hey, you embarrassed me in front of millions of people. Millions of people were watching that game. So Joshua Zirkzee, he felt embarrassed in front of millions of people. He might leave just to get away from the manager. He might leave just because he hates what Ruben Amorim did to him. That situation, I don't want to see any player go through that. I don't want to see any player actually experience a moment like that because you're embarrassing the guy in front of millions. Just imagine that, right? 30th minute for a player, that's embarrassing. Obviously some players they'll just say, okay, it is. I've been subbed off 30th minute. It is what it is. But him, he's still young. He's still in that social media era. People are gonna clown him. People are gonna mock him, and that's gonna get to you as a football player, as a professional. So I think the manager, he could have handled that situation a bit better. But overall, Man United, we gotta start going in the right direction. We gotta start going in a better direction. Your players, you gotta look after these players, right? Yes, the manager is important, but the players as well. Bring in better players. Bring in players that can help the manager compete, because the players are the ones that are playing, right? They're the most important thing. So if you don't give the manager the players, and Gary Neville, he was saying a situation of, oh no, the manager has to coach them, this and that. Some players, you can't coach them to be great, right? You can't coach some players to be great. Some players are just like that. They're average. Maybe that's their level for life. You can't coach them to be better. So the best thing you can do is get a player you can coach to be better. A player you can coach to actually help you challenge for trophies. I think 5 players I would keep probably the defense we bought this season. And maybe it wasn't Ten Hag's fault, right? A lot of people are saying, hey, maybe it wasn't Ten Hag's fault. It's the players, this and that. But it's a combination sometimes. It's a combination sometimes. You have to keep balance. That's completely correct. He he does have poor balance as a player, Joshua. But sometimes you have to you just have to analyze the situation. Is Joshua Zirkzee gonna develop into a world-class player? Maybe not. Maybe he is, maybe he won't. Right? Does he have talent? Yes, he has talent in some aspects of the game. But right now, the situation is the manager has embarrassed you, and you as a player, you're gonna start hating him. This might become a bit toxic. Joshua Zirkzee, Ruben Amorim, this might become a bit toxic because the both of them, they'll start resenting each other, right? I won't be surprised if in the next few weeks Joshua Zirkzee becomes like Rashford. He starts hating the manager. He just starts becoming a negative influence, right? That might happen because of what Ruben Amorim did to him. You're gonna start hating a man that embarrassed you in front of millions of people. That might genuinely happen. So, for the best for Joshua Zirkzee is to go to a new club, start again, and that's the best situation. Yeah, that's the problem with Eric Ten Hag was, hey, he wasn't playing what we brought him here to do, right? We brought Eric Ten Hag to play that Ajax football, to play that fancy football. We bought you some Ajax players, we bought you some Ajax guys, Anthony, all these guys, but he failed to actually achieve what we brought him here to do, and that's fancy football, winning games. He is one of the most sellable players. His stock is high. There's interest from other players from other teams. But let's see. Zirkzee, Rashford, Casemiro, these guys, they're three players that are most likely to leave. I won't be shocked if by the end of January, those are the three players that leave because do we sell someone like Ericsson when we don't have a replacement? Because if you sell Casemiro, you sell Ericsson. Already we saw that, hey, without Ogate, when Ogate was suspended, we don't have players in the midfield. Yeah, Hoyland, he still needs to develop. Same with Joshua Zirkzee. They both need to develop. They both need to develop. I think they do have potential. If they reach that potential, we have two good strikers. We have two great strikers, Joshua and Hoyland. That's pure profit from Marcus Rashford. And that's why I think the board, they're trying to capitalize. We have to remember that a lot of the Glazers, yes, they don't have a lot of football in say, but obviously they want that profit. The Glazers do want that profit from selling Marcus Rashford. That's pure profit. Let's say even if you sell him for 30 million, that's pure 30 million profit, right? So Man United, you gotta act upon Rashford. If him and the managers have fallen out, you gotta pick one. You gotta pick one side, and the best side to pick is Ruben Amorim. Back Ruben Amorim by selling Marcus Rashford, right? That relationship, it's gonna become toxic if you don't get rid of Marcus Rashford. It's gonna become extremely horrible. Both people are gonna start resenting each other. Both people are gonna start hating each other. It's just gonna be an environment of pure hatred. Pure hatred. Rashford and the manager. That's gonna be pure hatred right there. So United, you gotta. It can get us three potential players, right? It can get us even at least one good player. That profit from Rashford. If the if the thing Sir Jim Ratcliffe is saying, hey, we have to sell to buy is true, then selling Rashford is our main priority because that's going to be a lot of profit. And maybe Casemiro as well, you get some profit. Yeah, I agree with you. Hey, the manager didn't start Zirkzee to remove him. He definitely can develop, bro. He definitely can develop because we've seen other players actually become world class, become unbelievable. And Man United, if you can be patient with the player, I think it's a scenario of, oh, they're losing patience, they gotta sell him. They're losing because right now he's gonna hate Ruben Amorim, regardless of whether Ruben Amorim started him to not to take him off. He's gonna hate him. You embarrassed me in front of millions of people. He's gonna hate him because you saw the reaction from him. You saw the reaction from Joshua Zirkzee. He almost started crying. He almost so that those feelings they're gonna go out to the manager. That's actually true, bro. Like we can pay overtime, but we have a new strategy at Man United, right? We won't overpay. The player has to be under 25. We saw the list that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Omar Barada put out. Under 25, not on high wages, hungry, young. These are the types of players they're gonna go for, especially in January. Cass and Ericsson, they did need more protection, right? Someone like yeah, they just needed like more protection. Cass and Ericsson, they are good players. At their peak, they were good players, right? At their best, they were great players. I think it's a combination. You can say, hey, the midfield made Zirkzee worse, but nobody was perfect in that game. Nobody was amazing. So we can't only scapegoat one player, this guy, that guy, that guy. It was the whole team. I think everybody can agree that the whole team was rubbish. The whole team was below par. That's human nature, bro. He's gonna at least have some negative feelings towards the manager. You sub me off in the 30th minute, embarrassing me in front of millions. He's gonna have some negative. He's not gonna trust Eric Ten Hag. Oh, sorry, not Eric. Ruben Amorim anymore. He's not gonna trust Ruben Amorim anymore. Joshua Zirkzee after that situation, bro. Joshua Zirkzee, he's never gonna trust the manager anymore. Rasmus has potential. He has that potential, but let's see. Both strikers have potential. You signed them for them to reach potential. Are Rasmus and Joshua Zirkzee the best strikers in the world right now? No, but they can develop, right? They can develop, but I understand some fans they just want a ready-made striker right now. And that should be the mindset. That should be what you're actually trying to do. That should be what you're actually trying to achieve. A ready-made. I think Patrice Evra, he was in a different era, bro. He was in a different era because this is the social media era. Now Joshua Zirkzee, he's become a meme. Now he's become that moment of him being subbed off, a lot of people are probably DMing him that same meme, DMing him that same video. He's seen this on YouTube, on the internet, everywhere he goes. I think we just have to wait and see. We just have to wait and see. Maybe he might not hate the manager. We just have to wait and see, bro. We just have to wait and see. We just have to, because human nature, we already know how men are, right? If you humiliate another man, he's gonna have he's gonna lose trust for you. At least he's gonna lose trust for you. Okay, this guy humiliated me last time. Do I trust him now? Do I still trust him? Am I gonna still trust him? Yeah, I think a better left wing back and our number 10s need to improve. That's a situation where, as Man United, you need to be looking into that situation. You need to be looking into that aspect, right? I think Joshua was so disappointed in himself, maybe in himself, but you can't say in himself because the whole team was underperforming, bro. The whole team was underperforming. It's not just Joshua Zirkzee underperforming. It was the whole team. It was the whole team. So to just scapegoat Zirkzee, the manager was wrong in that. The manager was wrong in that because he's a player. Yes, he's not the best striker in the world, but to humiliate someone like that, he's gonna lose trust for you. He's gonna lose respect for you. It's not an assumption, bro. I'm just stating human nature. That's how human beings think. That's how human beings react. Okay, if you humiliate me in public, I'm gonna lose trust for you. I'm not gonna trust you the way I used to trust you before. Let's say one of your friends humiliate you in public. You're not gonna trust them the way you're gonna trust other people. Joshua Zirkzee, bro, he's not gonna trust the manager the way he trusted him in the beginning. In the beginning, it was all fun and games. They were laughing together, this and that. He was optimistic about the manager. He was optimistic about the future. But after you humiliate the guy in front of millions, that optimism is it's gonna leave you. It's just human nature. If somebody disrespects you like that, you're gonna lose love for them. I understand the change had to happen, but as Joshua Zirkzee, I'm just saying the feeling he's gonna have. That's the feeling he's gonna have. He's not gonna be genuinely happy with being subbed off. That's Joshua's. He's a really nice guy. He's a really nice guy, and maybe he might forgive the manager, right? But overall, we'll see. Him to Juventus, I'm just saying it's more likely now because he's already feeling those emotions. Human beings, sometimes they react on emotions. Oh, I got embarrassed. Let me call Juventus. Let me call my agent. That's how some football players react, right? That's how some football players react. Oh, I got embarrassed. Juventus are interested in me. Let me call my agent. Yeah, no one is happy about being subbed, especially in the 30th minute. But that might be the reaction from Joshua Zirkzee. We just have to wait and see what genuinely happens for Manchester United. We're going in a really good direction, though, right? We're just get rid of the players that you don't need. Okay, Rashford, if you think you don't need Rashford, get rid of him. If you think you don't need Casemiro, get rid of him. Sell these players, gain some money, and just try and improve in the transfer window. I think this transfer window is where you start building for next season. Start building for the next season, because this season all we have to look forward to is Europa League. Our season is basically over, so it's better to start building now, and then in the summer you add on, you add on, you add on, you add on. Let the manager have that preseason, right? Give him a full preseason to work with new players, to work with the players that we sign, right? Because I believe, hey, January, if you sign two players and then in the summer you sign more players, next season you have a better team. Next season you have a stronger team. And then those players, you can integrate them preseason. They learn the manager's system. They learn what Ruben Amorim actually wants. They learn everything the manager actually wants. It's about learning. It's about growing. It's about reaching that next level. Man United, I truly believe we can go to that next level. And yeah, it's a crazy update. Transfer window is open. And yeah, thanks to everybody that actually joined the stream. Do you think we should I think you should now is better than the summer, right? Starting now is better than the summer. He is frustrated by the situation, right? The board are telling him we don't have money, this and that. That's frustrating. That's extremely frustrating. So as a manager, Ruben, he's gonna be upset. He's gonna be angry. He's gonna be in his feelings. So right now, that's just the situation I wanted to cover. Quick topics. Rashford has responded. Casemiro to Saudi. Zirkzee to Juve. And the transfer window is heating up. Is heating up. Yeah, not every player has a temper like Ronaldo, but I genuinely appreciate everybody that joined this show, and let's hope you just have a positive 2025 this year. Let's hope it's positive for Man United and positive for the players. Zirkzee isn't going anywhere. We have to wait and see. We have to actually wait and see. He might just want to leave the club. He might just want to we just have to wait and see, right? We just have to wait and see. Either now or the summer, Joshua Zirkzee, he still has an option out, right? He still has a massive, massive option out because we have to, thanks, have like a great 2025, right? I just wish everybody luck in 2025. Happy New Year. And thanks to everybody that genuinely supports this channel. I try and put in extra work every day, every year, and take this channel to the next level. I appreciate everybody and enjoy.